Okay, Rosa, let's talk like to the audience that's going to be watching that, and share your gift with the people that are listening, because I know you're a really, really good networker, and you're really, really good to make human connections that are like real, and bring two people together that are going to connect so well. And I'd like you to share a few of your tips so that people can experience what you're doing as well.
Okay, thanks, Guillaume. I'd love to do that because my big dream is to see people connect at a heart space so that we're not only waiting until we're at a party, or some little child's event where hearts are naturally open, right? When we get to be grown ups, it seems that we veer away from the heart and get into the head, and it's like a space where I nobody can actually relate at that level for any length of time,
Mm.
right? And they're talking, they're conversing, but it's not relating, you know. And whenever I was networking, I always felt this disconnect, and I thought, oh my gosh, what's the point of having all these business cards when I didn't really make a connection with that person, or that person didn't have a desire to have a connection with me? It worked both ways, and something was missing. And I wondered then, how will I function into the business world, because I was just feeling like a misfit all the time. So the the only time that I really fitted was when I started my own company 3 years ago called Connecting You,
Mm.
because I was looking at members of chambers. I went to a lot of chambers events, and especially because I was working with the Mississauga Board of Trade. And there's anywhere from 100 to 200 people there at any given event, and people are rushing to get as many contacts as possible, but not caring about, do I connect with you?
So they,
So it
they,
was
they
all,
get like a big collection of business cards, but then like it's just a pile, a mountain of business cards.
that's all it is. And then look at the extra work we've piled on top of us. Because now we have to phone back that person or email them and try to re-engage them to see if they remember us. And you know what? More than half the time they don't, because they've met so many people in the last 2 weeks that they're going, tell me again what you do. You know what? It's like, yeah, right. So, how do you make that? What is the difference between making a connection with somebody and just getting a name and a contact and promising to call or promising to meet up for coffee? Huge difference.
Yeah.
You know, for example, when you and I met, it was an instant connection, right? It was, I still have to learn to do that heart thing properly. Oh, yes, I got it. Yeah. Um,
We can do
you know,
half and half.
like that and
Oh,
that.
like on your screen, can you bring like your hand?
Oh,
Whoa.
that's awesome. So when we connect, the first few words we say, or the first moments of energy that's shared causes something to connect, that doesn't that stays with you, and you start talking differently. So in other words, you let go of any agenda you had and you start relating. There's a
Yeah.
difference between relating and thus the word relationship, because we're now relating, we're not just conversing,
Mm.
right?
Yes.
So building relationships happens after a connection. And I think we haven't, generally, people haven't figured out the difference between a relationship and a connection. So a relationship happens over time, and sometimes you don't even connect the first time, but somehow a relationship gets formed because maybe you've had something in common to talk about. Maybe you both were married or you both got divorced, and there's some commonality to talk about. And then it would waited a while, maybe by the second or third meeting before connection happened. Well, it doesn't need to be that. A connection can happen the very first instant when we are in touch with our own heart chakra opening,
Hmm.
and we can actually source out of that space any thoughts, any expression, any facial language, that pops in. And it's like, oh, there you are. I didn't see that before. Now I see you.
Yeah.
So the heart chakra must be open for us to have a connection, truly, truly, truly. And then what happens, your soul level thinking, your soul level vibration starts connecting with the heart. So the mind is taking a back step because all the information that the mind wanted to put out there first to make you look good
Yeah.
is actually no longer relevant to that conversation because now we're engaged,
Yes.
right? Fully engaged. We don't have to have an engagement ring. I get engaged with people every day,
Yes. So
right?
it's not even your head or your body, your person. It's like your spirit is engaged with the other spirit.
That's exactly what it is. That's exact. So when there's a certain meditation that I do from my guru, and it says, I am not the body, I'm not even the mind.
Mm.
No, as a statement, that's so true. But do we really get it? When we're connecting in real live events out there in the world 24/7, we're not even realizing that I'm not the body and I'm not the mind because we're so attached to the body. How do I look? Right? And the mind, how do I sound? Am I brilliant? Is my topic sounding really good? Is my content for my workshop sounding good? Are you able to sell that for me, Guillaume?
Mm.
So it's all about content, delivery, mind work. And I just feel like as a species, we're wasting a lot of precious time. 'Cause we don't really know how much time we have, none of us. And yet we're so busy with the words and the content and the presentation, the PowerPoint slides, and all of that fancy stuff that we were taught by coaches. Now we paid $10,000 to be taught this. So do we really want to give that up so easily?
Mm.
Probably not.
So the
Right?
ego is like holding to it.
Right?
Yeah.
It's hard. It's hard. It's not easy. I'm not suggesting that it's easy
Mm.
because I've been there myself. I wanted other business owners who've been around for a long time and are successful to think that I'm on a successful track too. So I was busy doing my elevator pitch,
Yeah.
you know, and looking pretty and making sure my jackets were matched and everything and earrings were matched. And right now I don't care what earring I wear. I really don't even care if I have on a pair of earrings. It's really no longer important to me. So when I teach networking skills and I say, guys, you want to network, you want to have some energy when you network, because if you want to be remembered, the most important thing at an event is what's your vibration level? What are you
Yeah.
vibrating at today?
Yes.
Right? Did you check in this morning before you left? Or were you in so much of a hurry that when your kids spilled the milk in the car, you just screamed and yelled and, took the cup away from her and said, stay quiet till we get there. Take your kid to the class, you know, and come into the event and go, hi, how is everybody? There's a conflict within you
Yeah.
right away, right? And with that kind of energy come into a workshop or an event, you're not going to make as many connections as if you had paused, hugged that kid, say, hey, mistakes happen. Don't worry about it. We'll clean up the car later. Love you. Big hug and kiss. Go off and have a wonderful day. Take a deep breath. Contemplate or meditate for 2 minutes before you pull off in the car. reposition yourself to come to that event.
Mm.
To me, it's a matter of it's also respect for other human beings. Because I feel like when I don't do that, I'm coming and dumping in the space. Do you not
Yeah,
feel that?
yeah,
You
yeah.
know,
You're
it's like
it's
whatever
like
happened, why
you're
should I worry?
yeah, you're becoming a weight on the shoulders of the people you're trying to meet. Like, I, and I used to be like that. Like I used to be super shy, and then I started networking to break up my being shy and
Yes,
talk to everyone. But then I was just coming from my head and like, look at the deal I'm doing, like look at me, and there's what I can do for you, and nobody cares. They
yeah,
just want to be happy. And
yeah,
yeah.
yeah,
And now when I
exactly.
go to an event and I just like I don't have to say anything, I just smile and I'm happy, and people come to me and they're like I like it
Yeah,
creates a good bond or relationship right away just by being happy.
yeah, yeah. You actually impact the space that you're within already. It's raised a few decimals up,
Yeah.
right? Just by walking into the room. So you've already contributed to that space without even saying hi, right? I mean, and at the end of the day, if you ask any entrepreneur, and I'm focusing more primarily on entrepreneurs
Mhm.
because we have the flexibility of going to events any time of the day and we're kind of free spirits. I mean, I love entrepreneurs because of the spirit that they bring to the table,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
An entrepreneur is usually somebody who's a bit more adventurous, a bit of a risk taker, somebody who's determined to get a message out, somebody who will not listen to all kinds of boundaries and limitations from a company anymore.
Mm.
The whole value of an entrepreneur is really high in my mind, and so hanging out with entrepreneurs is already exciting. But when we start our business and we're so busy putting things in place and we can't manage the 24 hours that we live within to get our rest and to get our relaxation time and to get the business done, it becomes a challenge for us to go in really fully prepared with the right energy and the right spirit centeredness into a space. And that's why I feel it's so important for some of us to actually teach or remind people to bring that back to balance our whole self, to balance the mind, body, and spirit as we're developing the business. Because can you imagine when all of us are that way, what kinds of businesses we could generate?
Hmm. Yeah.
I mean, what a world. It would be so different if when you and I are already talking about doing things 2 years from now, 5 years from now, I'm not thinking about 10 years from now because what I do this year and next year is going to so change what I think I can do 10 years from now,
Yeah. That's right.
right?
Mm.
And that's what I want to help people understand. It's not about making a plan for 10 years from now on your whole life and being so organized and being so structured. That's almost a bit much because you're denying your own creativity that lies within you when you're in touch with your own heart space,
Yeah. That's right.
right? So there's an institute called the Heart Math Institute. Have you heard of it?
I did not.
It's amazing. This guy, Doc Childre, Childre, started it 20 years ago. And he sends out all kinds of videos and information. He's already teaching in schools, students, soldiers, veterans, families. And he talks about coherence, individual coherence and global coherence.
Hmm.
And when the individual coherence is affected, it affects and impacts the whole world's energy field. And you and I know that. But again, we're not thinking like that on a daily basis. We're just thinking, how much money should I generate before the end of December because I need to buy gifts for my two kids and
Yeah.
my in-laws, and I need to take them on a holiday in January, so I need another $20,000 by the end of December. Nothing wrong. I would love that. But if I only focus on that, I would be sort of peeling away a piece of my soul and giving up something in me what that would cause me to refuel and regenerate myself to create that 20,000 in a whole different way than I thought.
Yeah.
Does that make sense?
Yes, it does. Thank you for sharing that, Rosa. So how do you work? So you love working with entrepreneurs. So how do you approach them? How can you help them on their journey to connect with, so you're a matchmaker.
Yes, I'm a matchmaker. So I actually started a pilot project to get a TV show going. We haven't aired yet, so I can't tell you the date. The goal is to get this aired before the end of December. But the partnerships that I have brought on, what I realized when talking to these people was that they were really looking for other heart-centered entrepreneurs. And even though they've been networking a lot, it was pretty difficult or challenging to meet somebody else who resonates with their message, with their values, with their beliefs.
Mm,
And because I meet all these people and have this kind of conversation all the time, I happen to meet a lot more of those people. So I realized that it would be a waste of time if I didn't connect them because I can't be doing something with every one of them. I would love to,
that's right.
right? So then I thought, well, oh, Jennifer, why don't I connect you with John? You guys should be talking because, oh my gosh, I promised to sit with John, but I haven't had a chance. But you guys already have something in common. Why don't you talk about this retreat you want to do in Costa Rica? Because he's already researching and you've already got a date, but you're not researched yet. Hey, talk,
Yeah.
right? So I started putting people together. And then I realized for this TV show, why don't I bring two people on air, connect them, call it a blind connection, and introduce them right there live on air.
That's so cool.
And they never met before. I usually check that when they first come. I go, "Hey, Harry, did you ever met John? Did you ever meet John? No. Is this your first time? Okay. So we'll tell Harry a bit about John. I'll tell John a bit about Harry and say, do you guys see any commonalities? Do you see anything? And you see eyebrows raised and you see heads turn and it's like, hmm, right?
Yeah.
So then they get a chance to ask the questions that they want to ask, clarify, and so on. And then they would meet afterwards and then start doing something, whatever it is. They could be an affiliate partner referral. They could be doing speaking engagements together. They could be doing retreats together,
Yeah.
right? It could be a number of things. I don't even begin to think what they will do to I make one or two suggestions, but I leave it there because I go, hey, it's an open space for you. Looking at her background, looking at his background, they can do almost anything together. And when two minds and hearts come together, you know what masterminding does.
Yes.
It just exactly, right?
Wow.
Anything is possible.
Yeah.
So I'm doing that there. But then some people who couldn't come on the show just said, you know, Rosa, I really want to meet a match. You have a lot of people that you've talked to me about. Why don't you have a live event? So I went ahead and had a live event and matched 8 people together. I was like, okay, great. And they said to me that that was the best networking event that they ever attended. And I said, why?
Wow.
They said, because I got a chance to really express my thoughts and people were really interested.
Mm.
And we got to engage, we got to interact, we got to share, we got to hear everybody's true message. And we got to know, we got much more than one connection. We actually got another 7 connections. Right? So
Amazing.
the promise was one, but they got all
Yeah.
connected to everybody because we had open discussions and we had small groups and then we came back as a full discussion again. So the next one that I'm doing, which is happening on Friday, December the 6th, what we're doing is going a little bit deeper and making it a full day. That was a 3-hour event. Actually, it was 4 hours. We're going to make this a full day event from 10 to 3 or 3:30. And we're going to have masterminding assisted by none other than yours truly, Guillaume,
Woo!
right?
Thank you.
When I heard what you do, and I thought, oh my gosh, can you imagine bringing those masterminding techniques and skills into
Mm,
our group to help people mastermind right there and then once they've connected?
yeah.
I could hardly wait to see what ideas or projects maybe that they come up with by the end of the day. So it's gone beyond just connecting them now. You know, connecting them was the thing that I did naturally. And I thought, okay, let's do an event and have people meet formally. So fine, there's a small fee, they get connected. But now I realize that once they're connected, they're actually again not finding the time to meet to follow up.
Yeah.
So it would be even better if we mastermind with them in the first instant. It gives them a little bit more juice
Mm-hmm.
to walk away with, that they can't say no or delay the second meeting any longer. Does that
Oh,
make sense?
exactly. That's beautiful. So your gift, Rosa, is to really connect with people through their heart.
Yes.
And you can read those people, like you're a leader, you're bring, and then you want to bring those people together because you know that person needs to connect with that person, and you just feel it. You don't
Yes.
have to know, you just feel it.
Yeah. It's, yeah. Somebody said to me, is it a shamanic thing? I go, yeah, I guess you can call it that. You know, the shaman in me knows. And it's the parts of me that I know. You know, there are those few things that Oprah talks about, what you know. And that's what shows up. It's when the intuitive speaks and it's like, I know you guys can create magic together. Don't
Yeah,
delay this,
yeah.
you know.
So if
So
somebody, so an entrepreneur is at a point where like they're a bit overwhelmed with the amount of work that they have to do, and like they feel there's a wall in front of them, they could be calling you and asking for like maybe it's just because they need to meet someone. uh
exactly. Exactly. So it could be anything, and this is where we limit ourselves. We think, well, oh, I need to talk to a business coach who's going to show me another strategy or
yeah.
another system. But we forget the strength of people,
Mm.
right? When I go to a meeting, I'm not as excited about the content we're going to discuss. I'm excited because of the person I'm going to spend time with.
Yeah.
So when you are that interactive, when you're that interconnected with human beingness and the heart of people, the intention of your meeting changes, right? And so even though you go with a pen and paper and with a plan, because it's always advisable to have a plan, so you're not wasting time rambling on your discussion, at the same time, because of the way the hearts connect and because of the way the creativity has opened for both people in that one space, two minds happen to be masterminding unknowingly, unintentionally. And when that unintentional mastermind starts happening, it is inevitable for you to get 10 times more excited and have breakthrough after breakthrough after breakthrough after breakthrough. Look what can happen.
Yeah.
So, so if they would just pick up the phone and call me and say, "Hey, I just heard I should talk to you.
Yeah.
Let's talk."
That's awesome.
Great.
Yeah.
Yeah. You know, I would love that. I would
Uh,
love that. I would love people to just pick up the phone and call me to, if they're intrigued, what are you talking about?
yeah.
This sounds all woo woo and gooey and, not real for the real world. Another word that we misuse,
Yeah.
because I find that when people refer to reality, it usually goes to the left brain,
Mhm.
and that is not my reality,
Yeah, what is the real world? It's whatever you want to make it.
right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So there's a lot. I mean, my dream is imagining a world of heart-centered entrepreneurs rocking the world, because
Yes.
I know that 80% of our economic growth is going to come from entrepreneurs in the next few decades. And that's the group that I want to empower and inspire to really just make the world come alive.
Wow. Yes. I love it.
Yeah.
Thank you. Thank you, Rosa. Um, Now, what I'm going to do to help you is we're going to upload this video on all social media and YouTube and everything. And
Okay.
then we'll put your phone number in the description. And then when people, like, they feel they've listened to that, to you talk, and they feel there's something for them in this, or they just want to help you or be around you, then they can call you.
That'd be awesome. Thank you so much, Gail.
Thank
We
you.
need to blend ecology with economy,
Yeah,
and right, and not just think economy. So I'd love to participate in that. So thank you so much for taking the time to talk with me today.
that's awesome. Thank you. Thank you, Rosa. And we will create a sustainable world together for sure.
Looking forward to it.
Woo!
Yay.
Bye, everyone.
Bye, bye, everyone.
Call Rosa if this speaks to you, because she wants to help you, like, from her heart. So
Bye, bye.